Welcome to today's video. I'm Gary Wiryawan and I'm still here in the beautiful Labuan Bajo here in Indonesia. So today is my second day in Labuan Bajo and I thought I want to explore the area a little bit and try to squeeze a little bit of photography time as usual, and I want to try to capture some beautiful compositions. Some of these compositions today might look similar with the one that I captured yesterday, but hopefully with a different kind of moods and lighting that'll make them look kind of different and unique and make them kind of special as well. So yeah, this is part of my everyday photography video. If you want to check out the other vlogs, you can go up here on the cards and you can see the other vlogs, but mainly this is my challenge to myself so that I can squeeze photography time every day and try to be able to upgrade my skills as a hobbyist photographer. So now let's explain the gear situation a little bit. So this is everything that I'm carrying with me right now on this Labuan Bajo trip. So I also shared this setup yesterday, but basically this is the Panasonic GX85, my main camera for this trip. I'm only bringing one dedicated photography camera with me, and that's the Panasonic 14 to 140mm super zoom lens, which I found very useful because I can kind of go from wide angle all the way to telephoto without having to change lenses, and that's just something wonderful on this trip. And then I also bring with me my Panasonic 20mm f1.7 in case I want to take some blurry background environmental portrait of my wife or something like that. And also I have with me the Laowa 7.5mm f2 ultra wide angle lens for the wide angle landscape shots. That's just so fantastic in this area right here. And all of these cameras together are carried using my Billingham Hadley small camera bag for this trip because this is weather resistant and it's just really nice to be able to carry all of my gear together with some other non-camera stuff inside this bag. Anyway, you might be asking, what is this item right here? This is the harness or the attachment clip for my DJI Pocket 2 vlogging camera. So I can put my vlogging camera in here and I can show you the POV photography behind the scene as the usual that I do in my other vlogs. So yeah, quite a useful item as well. So now let's try to find some compositions. So my first composition will be of that island, not island, but that kind of a sitting area in the middle of the ocean right there, and I want to try to capture it with the hills behind the island as sort of a background of interest. The lighting is kind of scattered today. Some areas are getting sunlight, but some other areas are actually covered by clouds. So yeah, it's a little bit challenging, but we're just gonna try to exploit this composition before the lighting starts to change. So yeah, 14 to 140 f5.6 aperture priority. I'm zooming to maybe about 100mm f5.6. Everything else is automatic, and this is the composition that I like. Oh, it's actually raining right now. Kind of interesting, but the lighting on that area right there is kind of beautiful right now because of the sunlight. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that composition. 140, one more time. It makes for a nice photograph. So I want to switch to other composition. A little bit to the right, you can see the intersections between those islands right there. I think it makes for a nice photograph as well. Let's try to capture it. 140mm. All right, something like this. Very simple, nothing too complicated. Yep, really nice. I like it. One more time. All right, and now I want to try to capture the pier area with the boat and also the sitting area right there, again with the island as sort of a background. I want to try to include the boat, so I'm not trying to crop the boat or anything. So this is probably about 90mm. I hope you can see what I'm doing on the camera. It's actually raining right now. It's quite weird. It's raining but it's sunny, so yeah, something like this. This is about 90 or 80mm f5.6. I'm focusing on the boat, everything else is automatic. I like how the boat and the sitting area is kind of the foreground and the island behind is kind of the background. Makes for a nice contrast between, you know, man-made structure and, you know, nature. It's just very interesting. This is very essential Labuan Bajo view, if you understand what I mean. Like tropical island, that kind of stuff. Yeah, quite nice. Alright, so nearby the hotel area, we have this lonely tree in the middle of the ocean, which reminds me of the Wanaka tree in New Zealand. If you already saw one of my vlogs, you can check out that vlog right here. I will put on the card above, the Wanaka tree vlog, but this is very similar with a little bit of different backgrounds, but I want to just quickly try to capture it. Very simple composition, just a tree in the middle of the frame with a little bit of the ocean and the island behind as sort of a background, and the trees on the left as sort of another element in the frame. So something like this. This is 35mm f1.7. Very simple, very simple. I'm not using any filters or anything like that. I just want to try to capture this as quickly as I can before the rain starts to become, you know, worse. Something like this. I'm putting the tree in the middle of the frame. 35mm once again. Something like this. I want to try to zoom out a little bit. Let's try 25 just to see what happens. Something like this. Maybe 30. Let's try. Alright, not bad. Alright. So one more composition from that area right there, the islands that we photographed before. I just want to try to capture it from this angle because I can sort of make the small island on the middle becomes the center point of everything, and that makes it for a nice foreground of interest. So this is my composition right here, something like this. Nothing too complicated. Let's try to capture it. So I want to try to capture the intersections of the islands. I think it makes for a nice photograph, and right now we have the sun shining, making the texture of the hills just more pronounced and nicer in my opinion. Something like this. This is what I have in mind. I'm going to zoom out a little bit to about 130 or 120. That was 140 before, so this is slightly wider, maybe 100, just to see what happens. And try to put everything, not everything, but the small islands right there at the center of the composition. It's really nice. Let's go back to 140 and put the island a little bit to the right, lower right of the image, something like this. Let's focus just on the island behind it. Alright, nice. So yeah, I found a really interesting looking flower right here, which I never really see before, and it's just catching my attention. I hope you can see it on the vlogging camera. This guy right here, that's what I mean. So I want to try to capture it with the 14 to 140. I'm at about 35mm, and I'm focusing on the closest flower, the one on the top, something like this. Very simple. I'm keeping it f5.6. Depth of field is not really an issue for this kind of photographs, but I'm gonna try to zoom out just a little bit, maybe about 30, and getting closer, something like this. Maybe we need to overexpose the image a little bit, about 1/3 of a stop, something like that. Now I want to try to just go really close on that guy right there. I'm at 140, something like this. I'm overexposing to about 1 stop to compensate for the white points on the frame right here. It's 140. Alright, really nice. With the 14 to 140, you have a little bit of that macro capabilities, and again you have the ability to go wide telephoto all the time without having to change lens, and that's something that I really enjoy. I forgot how fun that was. It's not really educational if you understand what I mean, but it's just very convenient for travel photography, being able to not change lenses. But if you're not doing travel and if you are practicing your photography skill, this makes you lazy. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Alright, so I switched to Laowa 7.5mm. I am at f4 right now, and I'm focusing to hyperfocal distance, and this is the frame that I got. I hope you can see on the camera, but this is actually a really nice vertical composition. You got that leading line thing going on. You have a little bit of the framing device on the left and on the right of the frame to help to give it a nice sort of frame within the frame kind of look that I really like. So let's try to check the focus once again. So I'm using the punch in to focus and try to focus at the pier right there. That should be theoretically hyperfocal. So yeah, right about there. I think that's plenty sharp and I'm quite happy with it. So yeah, again f4. I'm not overexposing or anything. Let's try to take the picture. Really nice. Let's do something like this. This is what I really love. By raising or lowering the camera, you can add or decrease foreground as needed. And now let's try horizontal. Something like this. Looks really nice. Alright. Right, so I have my wife right here and we're going to try to take some environmental portrait. So I switch lens to the 20mm f1.7 and I set the aperture to f2. What we have in mind is to use the islands behind my wife to be sort of a background to kind of give you a context that we're in Labuan Bajo. So I don't want full-blown kind of background blur because that would be pointless. We can just do it at home. We want to give you a little bit of context. So yeah, this is the composition that I have in mind with the 20mm. Looks kind of dramatic. Kind of like it. All right, let's put my wife on the middle of the frame. This is f2. So yeah, let's try to capture the picture. Nice. It's a little bit overexposed because I'm hitting the shutter speed limit, but I don't really care because it looks great. Let's try to switch to electronic shutter so that we can kind of crank up the shutter speed higher. We got 10,000 right here with electronic shutter. Right, nice. With electronic shutter, it's also silent. Let's try to take another one. This is really nice. All right, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to step back a little bit and we're gonna try to do vertical composition with the 20mm. Really nice. 1, 2, 3. Now let's switch to that island right there. Okay, this is a little bit tricky because I want to try to include all the islands behind. 1, 2, 3. So I have to raise the camera. I hope you can see what I'm doing. One more. 1, 2, 3. All right, one more. 1, 2, 3. One more. I'm going back to horizontal. I think this is really nice. All right, one more. Gonna go a little bit lower to add more of the sky. Nice. All right. Alright, so I'm going to snorkel this afternoon, just try to enjoy the time here in Ayana Resort, and I'm going to go down into the water. I'm not going to take photographs, but I will record some video clips that you can enjoy after this. Alright, let's go! Alright, so we just snorkeled and then we just do a little bit of kayaking, and now I'm going to snorkel again in this island right here nearby the hotel. The hotel provided free shuttle to this island right here, and then maybe I will take some more photographs, but I'm not quite sure. But I think I want to end the vlog right now. So that is all for today's video. I hope that this video is inspiring and useful and informative for you, makes you want to go out and take pictures as well. Also, if you have any question, please comment down below and I will try my best to answer. Don't forget to support my channel by liking this video, sharing this video, subscribing to my channel. Use my affiliate links down in the description below, and also use the super thanks button to further support my channel. Thank you and see you on the next video. Goodbye.